If you want to pacify the mind, you stir up waves. Mind is not a thing. So if you make a thing, then you've made something you have to do something about. And then you have to pacify it. There's something more basic, more fundamental, more about your own nature that doesn't have to do with whether something is calm or rough or quiet or loud or pacified or unpacified, because it's more basic than that. So in this particular approach, if you rest your mind in something that's more basic, then other things line up behind that and it takes care of itself. If there are specific kinds of difficulties that arise in trying to do that, then a teacher can guide you with methods about how to breathe, or maybe some kind of physical practice. We use bowing a lot if people have a lot of torment. Sometimes the activity of bowing can help, or chanting can help, or other kind of exercises can help. But more important than the exercise you're doing is why you're doing it, and what can support you into seeing into your own nature. Then you understand what is mind, how it functions, and if you go along with that, then you can't harm yourself. If you're insisting on calm, and then something appears that doesn't feel calm to you, then it's common for people to start to get into a fight with themselves about why they failed at what they're trying to do and maybe they should try harder. So that fighting with ourselves doesn't help us. So the appearance of the dissatisfaction with your current state is something that if you want to make it go away, then you're using dissatisfaction to make dissatisfaction go away. And that ultimately just creates more dissatisfaction. So something appears, something disappears, something feels good, something doesn't feel good. When something feels good, I'm happy. When I don't feel good, I'm sad. Yeah. So we want to help you step out of that, so that the comings and goings of things that feel satisfactory and feel unsatisfactory don't disturb your stability. That's not something you can force yourself into. First of all, it's inherent in your own nature. And second of all, it's something you discover. So you can't discover it if you insist you know what it looks like. That's not discovering. Right? That's making something. So if you refrain from making something and you're open to discovery, then everything that appears is a discovery. And having that attitude in some ways is resilient and protective. It's more productive to engage the question, what am I? It doesn't have to be those words. There's something within us that already wants to see that. So it's the question mark at the end. What is it? If you learn to use that with phenomenon that are attractive and phenomenon to which you have an aversion, then the attractiveness or the aversiveness of phenomenon don't have a hold over your mind anymore. When I was in college, before I knew, in high school, before I knew anything about meditation, I learned about jazz music. So I would take a musician, usually Thelonious Monk, but not necessarily, and I'd put on the music softly, and I'd lay down on my bed, and I'd close my eyes. And somewhere over the course of the album, I had all kinds of strange visual and sensory and dreamlike experiences that were very pleasant. And I couldn't describe any of them afterwards. But in the middle of it, some unusual things happened, and when I woke up, I felt refreshed and I felt good. And with my particular makeup, if I tried to guide myself, I probably would have stumbled over my own feet. But I let the music do it, and it had a useful effect. So it's certainly possible, if you approach it with a sense of purpose and balance, to find some technique that helps create some kind of sense of being refreshed and being balanced. To the degree that you want to be special and kind of get something, right, that makes you different somehow, if you don't have a handle on that, then you can get very out of balance with those kinds of things. So it's not a question of whether or not you do something, it's a question of how you approach it, how sensible you are about it, how open you are to discovery, how likely you are to approach it in a balanced way, and how open you are to being guided by somebody else.